Plasma Price Prediction 2025. Will Plasma become the PayPal of blockchain? Imagine if you had invested in PayPal back in 2001 before everyone knew about it. That exact window of opportunity is opening up again in the crypto space because no one is noticing. Plasma, also known as XPL, wants to become the PayPal of blockchains. With zero fees for stablecoin transfers, a real use case, and already billions in volume shortly after launch. In this video, I'll show you data that proves why this altcoin is currently dangerously undervalued and what happens if you're too late. Welcome to 10x Crypto, your channel for honest, data-driven altcoin analysis. Let's be honest, when you invest in crypto today, are you really looking for the next meme coin or the next use case that will change the world? And that's exactly where Plasma comes in. A new layer 1 blockchain specifically built for stablecoins, the most real use case crypto currently has. Digital payments. And here's the game changer. Zero fees, yes, $0. Transaction fees for stablecoins like USDT. No gas, no hassle. This works through the so-called paymaster system where the transaction costs are covered by the network itself. That means you can send USDT globally in seconds with no fees. Technically, Plasma is based on its own variant of the hot stuff consensus called Plasma BFT. This is an extremely fast form of proof of stake, with over 1,000 transactions per second and finality in under 1 second. The thing is, it's also EVM compatible, meaning Ethereum smart contracts run out of the box. And as an extra, Plasma is anchored in Bitcoin, so it's not just some copy and paste chain, but built as a security-focused hybrid. But what's really exciting is that the market Plasma is targeting is gigantic. Stablecoins already move $250 billion today. They are the fastest growing asset class in the entire crypto market. So if Plasma manages to become the standard for stablecoin transfers, we're no longer talking about hype, but about a piece of infrastructure for the entire global crypto financial system. So if you're looking for an altcoin that doesn't rely on hype but offers real utility, Plasma could be an interesting altcoin for you to add to your watch list. Before we dive into the detailed analysis, grab yourself a coffee, feel free to leave a like for me, and if you want to become an insider, check out my free group, the 10x Insider. There we exchange ideas about hidden altcoin gems, and there are exciting news updates from me. The link is in the video description. But a quick disclaimer, my channel does not provide financial advice, it's purely for informational purposes. Let's move on to the market cap. The market cap is currently around 900 million after the big dump that just happened. So in the end, they're in the mid-cap range, almost heading towards low cap. But despite that, there's still a lot of interest and expectations remain high. For comparison, at launch, Plasma reached a trading volume of $2 billion within 24 hours. That's impressive for a project that has just started. That's why in this area only a 6. Let's move on to the circulating supply. Currently 1.8 billion XPL are in circulation, which is only 18%. That's relatively low, meaning there are still a lot of unlocks to come and selling pressure. 82% of the tokens are still locked. Of those, 40% are for the ecosystem, 25% for the team, and 25% for investors. But in the end, they have a vesting period. In the short term, of course, that's difficult. In the long term, I don't think it's such a big problem. But you have to be careful, especially with the unlocks coming in 2026. So, only a lot here. Then, what about the roadmap? Plasma has delivered. Mainnet beta on the 25th September, right on time. Over 100 DeFi integrations already live. AAVE, Pendle, Athena. So extremely strong. Short-term goals, Bitcoin bridge, DeFi campaigns, and new yield markets. Long-term, global stablecoin payments and confidential transactions. So the plan is clear, now they just need solid execution. A strong 7 in this area. Then let's move on to the team. They are led by PayPal Fax, with a developer from the blockchain infrastructure sector. The team communicates clearly and transparently, especially after the mainnet launch, when rumors about token sales emerged, but at least for now there is no complete team list. However, they are proven experts from the EVM space and the BVT consensus. A solid 6 here. Now let's move on to the narrative. The core, of course, is stablecoin infrastructure. Zero fees, permissionless access. This is a topic very much in tune with the times and relevant in the long term. The stablecoin market is also growing massively, it has to be said. With over $250 billion, Plasma is positioning itself extremely strongly here. Plus, the Bitcoin anchor, EVM compatibility, the bridge between worlds, a strong 9. What problem are they actually solving? Plasma solves real problems: high fees, slow finality, poor weeks. With sub-second finality, zero fee transfers and custom gas fees, Plasma offers what Ethereum and Solana have never managed to perfect. Clearly a technical advantage here, a strong 8. Next, sustainability. Based on proof of stake, so it's efficient, resource saving, no mining, no unnecessary computational effort. Here, they are extremely sustainable and well positioned. In this area, a solid 5. What about investors and capital? They have a big name on board. Founders Fund, Framework Ventures, Bitfinex, $24 million in seed funding, plus 50 million from the public sale, so extremely strong. Binance integration, of course, also ensures liquidity, a strong 8. Then let's move on to the competitors. Direct competitors, Tron, Solana, Ethereum, so it's layer 2, but Plasma is of course targeting a pure stablecoin payment layer. A better fee model than Tron, better partner structures than Solana, higher specialization than Ethereum. A strong 7 in this area. By the way, when we take a look at the competition, things get really interesting. Many altcoins are of course fighting for market share here, but only a few really have the substance to keep up in the long run. And that's exactly why I created the 10 times universe, a playlist where I've analyzed a ton of altcoins. Feel free to check it out. The link is in the video description. Let's move on to the next point, marketing. Binance listing, partnerships with over 100 protocols, and a strong presence on X. Communication is transparent, the community is growing, a solid 7. So what about the idea itself? How simple is it really? The idea is brilliantly simple. A blockchain that focuses solely on stablecoins. No gaming, no NFTs, just payments. Basically everyone can understand that. A strong 8. So what about the long-term vision? What exactly is Plasma's long-term vision? The goal? A global permissionless payment system with confidential transactions and Bitcoin integrations as a security anchor. That's ambitious but technically feasible. A strong 8. So are they actually deflationary? Do they have a max supply? They actually have an unlimited supply with an inflation rate of 5% per year, but that's going down to 3%. Gas burns according to EIP 1559, not a deflationary coin, but with a stable tokenomics. Here, in this case, only a 3, because as mentioned, a lot of tokens are still coming onto the market. Then let's take a look at the FTV. At the moment, it's valued healthily. There's no overvaluation, a strong 8. So what about the volume? The volume is exceptionally high, especially at launch it was extreme. Strong interest, strong liquidity, a solid 10 in this area. Then what about the lockup periods? 10% of the tokens went public at the beginning, 40% to the ecosystem, 25% to the team, and 25% to investors. The team has a 3-year unlock with a 1-year cliff, so some tokens will gradually be released starting next year. That's solid and quite fair, so a 7. Next, what about the token holders? There are about 15,000 holders, which is a decent level of decentralization. No clear whales, no signs of centralization, a solid 6. So what is the actual utility of the token? Gas, staking, validator rewards, governance, paymaster functions, zero reward transfers, DeFi access, those are a lot of positive features, a strong 8. Next, what about the community? ActiveX, Discord, OG rewards, DeFi campaigns, around 15,000 holders, strong initial momentum. This gets a solid 7. By the way, are you yourself an XPL holder or a fan of the project? Let me know in the comments. I'd like to know, how do you currently assess the project? Are you bullish or more bearish? Write it in the comments. So what events are coming up next? Bitcoin Bridge, new DeFi integration, Pendel yield, campaigns. And for now, there are not any major unlocks, but they will come in 2026. Right now, the focus is on the community, a solid 7. You know what stands out to me most about Plasma? It's one of those projects that doesn't shout loudly, but actually delivers. While other coins only talk about adoption, Plasma has already achieved it long ago. With over 100 integrations in the DeFi sector, billions in volume on the first day, and a clear mission to finally make stablecoins ready for mass adoption. On my top 10 list, they land at 69.1% after the launch. That's a strong foundation, especially when you consider that most Layer 1 projects are either overvalued or underfunded at the beginning, but here they're solidly positioned. What are the most important takeaways now? Strong roadmap, the team delivered, mainnet launched on time, partnerships are real. A real use case, no fees for stablecoin transfers, genuine added value for the market, solid capital base, top investors are on board, which ensures stability. The narrative fits perfectly with today's crypto narrative. Ultimately, it's the backbone of the global financial market in the crypto sector. Here, Plasma positions itself extremely strongly. As mentioned, there are also risks, especially because many tokens could still enter the market, particularly in 2026, so you need to be careful. By the way, if you want to know whether I hold Plasma in my personal portfolio, or if you want access to the full 10 times ranking list, and for example, access to my 10 times indicator, which I'll talk about later, then check out the 10 times Elite. This is the complete package for you. There's news every day, or depending on how the market moves. You get my 10 times indicator, 10 times ranking list, insight into my portfolio, and a look at what I'm buying or selling. Everything you need. You can find all the information in the video description. Or you can simply scan the QR code here. Plasma is actually one of those coins that isn't loud, doesn't get hyped, but still has massive potential. Now let's talk about the price scenarios. Let's look at the bear scenario. Imagine the market stays rather weak. Stablecoins stagnate, DeFi loses momentum. New Layer 1 projects lose relevance. In that case, Plasma could stabilize between 80 cents and $1. Now let's look at the normal scenario. If Bitcoin goes up to $150,000 and there's increased demand for stablecoins, Plasma could trade between $1.50 and $3. Let's move on to the optimistic scenario. Imagine Plasma manages to set a new standard for stablecoins. In DeFi, zero fees, high speed, strong partnerships, extremely strong. Then we're talking about prices between $3 and $5 US. Now let's move on to the very optimistic scenario. If stablecoins really establish themselves as a global means of payment, Plasma becomes a leader and new dimensions open up, then $10 to $25 could be possible. And now Vision 2030. What happens after the next bear market? Then once again in the bull market. Let's imagine crypto payments are part of everyday life. USDT, Euro USC are running on Plasma. Billions of people are sending money in just a few seconds without fees all around the world. Then Plasma could go up to 40. By the way, the price rises. If you want to buy Plasma or other altcoins, make sure to use my recommended crypto exchange, which I also use myself. It's fast, secure, and even offers an exclusive bonus for 10 times viewers. The link is in the pinned comment, or just scan the QR code. Now, let's move on to the chart analysis. What does the current situation look like? All of that now. Hello and welcome to my chart analysis of Plasma. First, an important note. I use TradingView and a custom developed indicator. It shows two things. First, whether we are in the overbought zone. In other words, a lot of people are buying. A red dot appears. That means we are overbought. Then a lot of people are selling. Then a green dot appears. That means we might be oversold. That's perfect for me, of course, because this way I can find entry and exit points. In any case, what does the current situation look like for Plasma? They have just been launched. That wasn't long ago. After the launch, they were pushed up massively, but then they were sold off. Now we had the flash crash, partly because of the Trump tariffs against China, but a lot more happened as well. In any case, we were pushed down massively here, but were bought up again right away. At the moment, a green dot has formed on the 4-hour chart, which is definitely already a positive signal. Still, I would be extremely cautious right now. For now, we only have limited data on Plasma, which isn't ideal for my 10 times indicator since it needs a lot of data. And then I would wait for now because it could still go down further. I don't think the situation is over yet, and I believe the overall market will probably go down a bit further. So my current position is that I would wait. But if a green dot forms even lower, especially on the daily chart, particularly for Bitcoin, since Bitcoin always pulls all the altcoins with it, then I might consider entering a position. All the information about when my 10 times indicator signals, or if you want to have access to the 10 times indicator yourself, you can either buy it yourself or you get access to it as long as you are a member of my 10 times elite. You can find all the information in the video description. Before you tune out, make sure to check out this altcoin here. Why this altcoin is at the very top of the 10 times ranking list and is extremely strong, you'll find that out for yourself. See you in a bit.